G'day traders, welcome to wrap up of Tuesday the 1st of May. It's the first day of a brand new month. So here we are on the day chart. This is the particular candle here. This is the Tuesday we're looking at. When we started this particular day, there was definitely a little bit of a green candle starting to form, and you can see, in this upwards formation, we're above what's now become a support level around that 1390 area. So it looked like this is just we had a temporary red candle, which was a pullback, and then the buyers were coming back again. And it's the sort of area where they could really quite easily pop back up to 1410, 1420, or back where those daily highs lie. So definitely thought that the buyers were going to be around, and we certainly got a lot of those. So you can see just on the 1 minute chart here, we started off, we kind of had to push up, push down, and then 10 o'clock here. This is obviously news influenced, and we had a 10 o'clock news announcement which pushed the market up, and from there it just didn't stop really. That was kind of the start of the upside, and the market said we're prepared to go with that. And you can see at no stage did it really pull back. These sort of markets often worse than sideways markets, where they just keep going one direction. They just never have a pullback or give you a chance to get on. You can see it's blasted through that yellow. Not even close to pulling back to a power point right up until lunchtime. The only market was, I think it was the Nasdaq, was the one. It showed a little bit of resistance, and it did pull back, but certainly nothing to get on the ES side of things. Here we approached lunchtime, so I'm just going through the 1 minute chart today because it's kind of easy to see the formation. So we've got this very sideways period through lunch. We popped down to this purple here. So again, this first pullback power point with the daily trend, after a 10-point trend, we keep talking about this first pullback and even the second pullback. Two great areas to go for, but on this particular day, both actually failed. But this particular power point working 70% of the time. Oops, and this one was just there, but this particular one up here, it's actually working about 70% of the time as well. But in this case, they both actually failed. But I'll show you something in the 5 minute chart soon as to why I actually like this as more of a fade, or definitely an area to push down. You can see then the market did continue to push down. But let's bring up the 5 minute chart. So obviously we had this push up, push up, push up. Any sort of pullback was very short lived, and then again just kept pushing the upside. So it's very extended, and getting any sort of buy is very hard unless you're really waiting for a decent pullback. So this is what happened in this area here. This is what we tend to look for, and it was around here that the grey actually started to form. But it was at this stage that I was actually looking for sells, because as the market started pushing down here, yes, it just looks like buyers, but actually the Russell and Nasdaq were significantly pushing down quite strong. And those markets do tend to lead the markets. And the Russell yesterday had a very flat day, a very tight range. So today is the kind of day where it's really going to be, I guess, decisive in its decisions. And rarely you see the Russell play dead 2 days in a row. So the Russell was rocketing on the upside, and then it was rocketing on the downside. And even though the ES had only pulled back a minimal amount, the Russell and Nasdaq were certainly saying we're going down, and like it was, probably not going to go back to its lows, but certainly have a real good push down. So there's a couple of options and ways to take it. There's a 5 minute fade, which is this area here, which is quite a shallow fade. You can see, okay, the moving average is clearly pointing down, and the predictive just crosses up, so you look to catch it about there and then sell off. Or the directional trade is one I like, where you see a push down, and then you get that confirmation where you get a shoulder, so the predictive crossing back up and then crossing down again. So that happened with a very shallow amount of movement. It can't happen quite quickly as well. Normally you see a little bit more of a shoulder, so up and then down. But that shoulder, it just popped up, popped down here. So there's a couple of sell entries I thought around 1408, 1407, 50, that sort of area, and around here just before we hit that grey power point, which actually lined up with a fade situation for that grey. And I really like that as a sell after seeing all these buyers come through so strongly in the morning. The sellers look like they're going to have a go on from there. They did. They pushed down quite a few points. But I think that was about it. The only opportunities I saw throughout the day. Right, that's a wrap up for Tuesday, and we'll speak to you guys Wednesday.